Glenn, thanks for getting this in. So here's one of your lighting setup shots. A good shot. It looks good. Yeah. Okay, and then there's your two finals. I think that there's a lot of really incredible shots in your contact sheets, actually. And I think I would have liked to have seen some of these larger that you didn't give us. And I don't think that your choices were bad so much. I think you just had a lot of really good shots. And she's lovely, the model that you're using here. And you said you used 3 different backgrounds. I think the white is definitely working the best for you, for sure. And then these close-ups, like this is a really beautiful shot here. I don't know, was that one of your finals? No. But yeah, some really beautiful close-up headshots. You used this one as a final, and I have to say I'm not really sold on that shot, and this is why. There's this whole section down here is really awkward. It's always weird when you're shooting people to show their feet for some reason. I think as humans the connect between the foot part of us and the rest of us is often quite awkward. And to show it in a photo is maybe not a good idea. That and these shadows that her legs are casting are just gargantuan, which is also a bit awkward. But the top part of it, this part, if you crop it like that, that's beautiful. That's a great shot. And it lets us know what her outfit is, which seems to be important to her. So that's a really nice shot. So just in the future, be careful with these full body shots because they can be really awkward. Also, there's some distortion that happens depending on the millimeter length lens that you're using. There's some distortion that happens when you pull back, or I'm sorry, when you use the lens as a wide angle to get the full body shot. Let's see if you told me what your millimeter length lens. No, you didn't. But that's fine. It can be weird. In portraiture, I don't know if this was, I don't remember seeing this anywhere in the lectures, but in portraiture, it's a typical practice to use a somewhat telephoto lens in portraiture because it flatters the human facial anatomy. And in my ground class, I have a really hilarious PowerPoint that I gave of where I did self-portraits of myself with, a wide-angle lens, and not an extreme wide-angle lens. It's like 28 millimeter, which isn't really that wide for my camera, and then I think I shot myself with the 70, and it's just hilarious how different I look between the two, and so that's just something to keep in mind. I don't know if that's been in the lectures or not, and I don't know if you know that. So remember that depending on your sensor size, because of course the relative focal length of a lens is dependent upon the size of your sensor, you want something that's relatively long to flatter the human anatomy, the facial human anatomy. But it looks like you're in such a beautiful big spot here that you might have been able to just use a natural length lens for most of your shoot. So it doesn't look like a whole bunch of distortion. Maybe a little bit. Yeah, I guess you're using a wide angle lens here, but it still seems like a relatively big space. Anyways, your lighting is very nice. I have no suggestions whatsoever for your lighting. I think you did a really nice job. I think this. The combination of the soft and the hard, or the soft fill and the hard, if this is your setup, you didn't use any hard light, unless maybe there's not a scrim on there, but I'm assuming there is, because this is pretty soft. So you actually use both of your lights are pretty soft, and then your fill is passive here. Ah, I see. There's the filtered light. Okay. But I mean, it looks really good. I mean, and it also looks like you had an opportunity to try a bunch of different types of light. So that works out. And then the room that you're in, of course, is white, so it's bouncing light all over the place anyways. So I think it was a good call to just go with mostly soft light because you were going to have so much light being bounced back into your scene. That's just a good choice. Anyways, overall, really good job here. I have no advice on how to get models comfortable when they're not, and how to suggest poses for them. This is also a place in my practice where I suck a little bit, and I'm always working on it too. I wish there was a book out there that was just like practical tips for the portrait photographer, and like not technical tips, but like seriously, like how to work with models. I don't know. I have no advice on that. Every time I work with a model, I just kind of have to acknowledge that I'm not very good at it, and that's my starting point. And so I spend most of my energy trying to work with the person, and I just rely on instinct for my technique, because the technique isn't a problem, it's the getting somebody to relax that is. Anyways, but by the end of the shoot, she looks great. I mean, in your contact sheet, she looks like she's really having a good time, and she's very relaxed. I mean, this is a gorgeous shot as far as I can tell, assuming it's in focus, and this shows how much fun she's having at the shoot. So, well done. Thank you, Glenn.